Welcome back to Dark Cinema Recaps. Today we're going to be recapping 2011's Scream 4, the final Wes Craven film before his death in 2015.
Next week, we'll recap all 4 of Wes Craven's Scream films, combined before we recap Radio Silence's new movies, Scream 5 and 6.
Sherry and Trudy, 2 high school girls, are stalked, then brutally killed by Ghostface. But this is just the opening scene to Stab 6, which Rachel and Chloe are watching. Rachel nags on about horror movie cliches, then Chloe gets out a knife and stabs her twice. Anna is not fucking about here.
No.
This is the opening to Stab 7, which Jenny and Marnie are watching. After Jenny pranks Marnie, she is killed. Jenny is threatened over the phone by a voice and then chased through the house by Ghostface himself, leading to her demise in the garage.
10 years since the events known as the Woodsboro Massacre, Sidney Prescott returns to her hometown as one of the stops on her book signing tour. However, things do not go well when Dewey interrupts the signing, claiming that the murderer of Jenny and Marnie are linked to a mobile phone somewhere in the bookstore's vicinity. Everyone is surprised when the phone is found in the trunk of Sydney's rental car, along with bloody handprints. While Dewey intends to find out what is going on, the incident quickly spreads across the town like wildfire. Gail Weathers Riley gets her old spark back in an effort to be in the spotlight again, intends to investigate what happened.
Dewey assigns a police detail to patrol the place where Sydney will be staying, which happens to be the residence of her aunt Kate and cousin Jill. It is here that Sydney has a deja vu moment in going to her cousin's room, only to see her cousin's ex-boyfriend Trevor sneaking out a nearby window after Jill has asked him to leave. Later on that evening, Jill and her friend Kirby are watching a movie when Kirby gets a call from someone sounding like Ghostface. The voice claims that he's hiding in the closet, which Kirby checks but finds no one. The voice then claims that he isn't standing in Jill's closet in the house next door. Their friend Olivia is shocked when the killer bursts out from her closet and gruesomely kills her. Sydney hears what's going on and breaks into Olivia's place, unfucking armed because Sidney Prescott does not give a fuck, attempting to stop the killer. However, he escapes just as the police arrive. There is a lot of blood in this scene as well.
A lot.
Like a lot. I'm wondering how many fucking people he killed in there.
Sydney is taken to the local hospital to be checked over, but is upset when her book signing publicist Rebecca claims that these new killings can help the sale of Sydney's self-help book. Sydney fires Rebecca on the spot, who heads to the facility's parking garage only to be menaced and then killed. Before her body is thrown off the top of the garage onto the roof of a nearby news van. Gail is trying to get to the bottom of the mystery and convinces Sydney to come with her to the local cinema club at the high school run by Charlie and Robbie Mesa. The two claim that if the killer is attempting to kill people in a remake fashion, while some things may be similar, the killer's style is not going to be exactly like the first time, and that to make the situation even more intense, they may be recording the murders to post them on the internet.
When someone brings up at the end of the murder spree the first time was at a house party, Charlie and Robbie immediately assume that the killer may strike at their upcoming Stabathon, where they'll run all the movies in the Stab series. Some questions why hold the Stabathon in the first place, but the guys assume that they aren't the only party in town, as TJs on a Friday night have plenty of other party options. I'm sure it'll be fine. Gail manages to find a way to the party, the Stabathon, and disguising herself, sets up cameras to view what's going on in the party.
Teenagers party to watch cameras.
Doesn't sound creepy at all. Get on it, Gail. However, as she watches from a car, the cameras start to get covered up. Gail places a call to Dewey before sneaking back into the party, the underage party, and she's in the 40s at this point.
While attempting to fix the camera in the rafters, she comes across a remote webcam before being stabbed by the killer. Dewey shows up just as Gail collapses to the ground, but the killer has once again eluded capture. She survives and is taken to the local hospital. Meanwhile, 2 police officers, Ross and Perkins, who are on watch outside Kate's house, are both killed by Ghostface. Sydney finds out that Jill snuck out and went to Kirby's. When Kate gets back from shopping, Sydney tells her that Jill went to Kirby's. Kate attempts to call her, she does not answer, and as the two attempt to go over to get her, the killer appears and kills Kate. Sidney manages to escape and rushes over to Kirby's place. The killer manages to gets to Kirby's house before she arrives.
Jill, Kirby, Charlie and Robbie are relaxing at Kirby's place when Trevor shows up. Jill claims that he wasn't invited, but Trevor claims he got a message from Jill's phone. Jill explains this to be impossible as a phone has been missing recently. Kirby suggests that Jill should go to her room and look for it, and Trevor follows her, very 90210. Robbie indulges in some alcohol and ends up going outside, where he is killed. Back inside, Kirby reveals to Charlie that her penchant for horror movies and that she finds him attractive. However, the moment is interrupted when Trevor reappears. Charlie and Trevor leave the living room, leaving Kirby alone. Jill comes from downstairs and Sidney comes into the house, telling Jill and Kirby of Kate's death.
Ghostface appears and chases them through the house, where Jill hides under a bed and Kirby hides in the basement. When Sidney comes down to the basement to find Kirby, they both find Charlie on the porch, covered in blood. Ghostface appears and ties him to a chair. Kirby's phone rings and the killer claims to want to play a game with her, testing her horror movie knowledge. With the killer busy, Sidney runs upstairs to try to find Jill, only to find her missing. When the voice on the phone stops, Kirby rushes out and attempts to untie Charlie, only to have him stab her, upset that it took till now for her to find him attractive, which leaves her for dead.
She shouldn't find him attractive. It's Hayden fucking Pantier. His dick
I
must
don't
be
get that
massive.
one.
No one's fucking falling for that. We've all heard of Beauty and the Beast stories, but it's not Beauty and the Beast. It's owner and fucking Catman. No way.
Sidney is then attacked by Charlie with the knife, but manages to escape and she starts running to the front door. She is then stabbed by Ghostface, confirming that there is a second killer.
Ghostface removes his mask. Or should it be her mask? Because it's revealed that this is Jill. She's the second killer. Jill then lets loose a torrid hatred of Sidney, claiming that her cousin's fame was always rubbed in her face and how she's sick of it. Jill now claims that soon Sidney will die. In the wake of the killer's spree, she'll become famous instead. Charlie also assumes he's going to be a part of the plan, but is shocked when Jill kills him as well. She then kills Trevor with a gun. She shoots him in the dick.
Yeah.
And supposedly kills Sidney. Jill then sets up the situation as if her ex-boyfriend Trevor was a true killer, planting the knife, mutilating herself, leaving bits of her hair in his hands, and smashing and breaking things around the room. Dewey and the officers eventually reach Kirby's place, and immediately, when it seems that Jill is still alive, the press descend to peg her as survivor. In the hospital, Dewey visits Jill, who claims that maybe one day she could write a book with Gale, since they both had the same injuries.
Dewey also explains to Jill that Sidney will recover, revealing that she is still alive and everything will be fine. However, once he leaves, Jill gets out of bed and rushes to Sidney's room, intending to kill her cousin once and for all. Dewey manages to show up, having realised that Jill slipped up mentioning similar injuries to Gale, something that she should not have been able to know, but is knocked over by Jill using a bedpan. Gale and Deputy Officer Judy Hicks are right behind him, but Jill managed to take Dewey's gun and corners him behind a bed.
To be fair to Judy, I mean, they kind of made her out to be a bit of a sleaze in the beginning, because
I know they're all about that whodunit, but they made her out to be like she was after Dewey. She wanted to be in his pants.
Yeah, I mean, you're not cheating on your wife by having my lemon squares, Judy. Like, what the fuck did you put in them?
Jill demands Judy's gun and gets it before shooting her. Jill then freshens Gale, only to have Gale buy time before Sidney manages to charge up a defibrillator, using the paddles to shock her cousin into submission. Everything seems okay until Jill rises for one last scare, and Sidney kills her cousin with a bullet to the head.
Fantastic film! I love it! I love it, I love it, I love it. Do you think there's a chance for Jill to come back in the future?
I don't think so. I think the defibrillator definitely did a work.
I love that scene where she walks by and she's like,
clear.
And it's so cheesy, but I love it.
It really is. But I do love those kind of deaths. I love it when it's like, oh, we're making a joke of this, but we're going to kill you.
I mean,
The one last scare is like a staple of Scream.
Well, that's been there since day one. There's one thing that annoys me about this film, because I honestly think it's fantastic. It's structured well, the gore's well, the killer reveal is actually somewhat very, very decent, especially with Jill.
Yeah.
But in the opening act, I believe it's either Jenny or Marnie.
Yeah.
When one of them gets killed, she gets thrown through the window.
Yeah.
Jill Roberts.
Yeah. She doesn't look strong enough to
No,
do it.
Emma Roberts. Jill Prescott. Halfway there.
Nearly there.
She is a fantastic actress and incredible and can do anything that she wants to do in life. She ain't chucking another full-size human through a fucking window.
And even Charlie, he just doesn't seem like that doesn't seem doable.
I mean,
you've got to break from reality a little bit to make sure that these kills make sense.
Yeah, I mean,
they could have done them.
Yeah, it's just the whole throwing someone through a window thing. Unless you were both there, like leg and wing.
Right. Woo! Ready, go!
Then yes, maybe it could make sense. But that's the only thing that does it for me. I think Scream 4 fucking brings it. I mean, there was an 11-year gap.
I do like the goriness of this one being back, because we lost a bit obviously for Scream 3, but this one did bring it back, so that was good, because that was what I was expecting. The blood, like you said, with the beginning kills, there was a lot of blood for what actually happened.
It was like
I wasn't expecting that much.
Not in a Scream film, no.
I did enjoy that. I loved the goriness of the kills getting worse, and it just ramping up that extra level, and introducing like new family members.
Yeah, even though we kind of introduced them just to kill them off.
Yes, but I still like that, because it wasn't, oh, well, it's just going to be Sidney.
Yeah, but again, it's all kind of pointless in the end because they're all dead anyway. So, if anything interesting that could have made further on down the line, not so much.
And I do love the fact that we still get a Randy a Randy bit into the film, and just seeing more of like somebody doing his kind of monologues about the films.
Standout for me in this, Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah,
she's fucking ace. She is
Kirby.
ace.
The character of Kirby just did not
immense.
give a crap. And it did not make sense why she was going for him, Charlie, at the end.
Hayden Panettiere, I mean, in 2011, I dare say she was in mid-20s, possibly early 30s. She's beautiful, obviously. We're not passing her off as high school age now. Come on!
It always makes me laugh when you find out the ages of the ones that are playing high schoolers. It's like, oh, we're high school, you're 42.
I mean, Emma,
oh, I'm in high school, you're 42.
Emma Roberts you can get away with, definitely, but like, really? I mean, she's fantastic.
Really?
Like, really
she
though?
does not look right at that age.
Yeah, so still, incredible film, Scream 4, massively underrated. Like, there is no bad Scream film.
No, there isn't.
There's a bad half of Scream films.
Yes, there's bad bits of Scream films, but there's not one overhaul bad film.
Yes, so next week we're going to be putting the Wes Craven Scream films all together in one big recap of screamy goodness, without all the nonsense of us chatting shit over the top of it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a couple of stabathons will be in there, but
hey,
other than that, Cindy, the TV's leaking. And so we'll be back next week to do that, and then we've got Radio Silences, Scream 5 and Scream 6, and it's
a good one.
Yep, I fucking love it.
Very excited.